You know, as many of the chums who have been with me a very long time here on this channel, and I am truly appreciative of that. Honestly, chums, really am. Sorry, we'll have a lovely wave. Nice to see you. And most people now know who watch the show on a regular basis, that I like things for free. And I don't mean, in the Meghan Markle way, free, but what I mean is that, if you can do something for free, there's lots of things that you can do if you're on a budget, and we all are, let's be honest, that you think, oh, that museum's free, or that particular thing you could go around free. As I told you recently, I didn't realise, or I'd forgotten, that you could go and listen to the debates in, of course, the Houses of Parliament if you pick the right time. And the other thing is, if you live in this country, in the United Kingdom, you can also contact your local MP and he can invite you in for a tour round the Houses of Parliament, if you can find them, of course, and then they invite you around, so you kind of get a free look around. That's part of the stipulation. Do you have to get on with your MP? Well, if you can find them, as I said, it might be a bit of a challenge, but when you do look at some of the things around London that are free, this has to be one of the best. And for me, it's in the middle of Whitehall. I've filmed here on many occasions because obviously many of the channels love to see this, wonderful regalia of what we have. And this is, of course, with the horses and the change and the 4 o'clock change, all started really by Queen Victoria. As I told you a while back, apparently she was coming through on her way back to Buckingham Palace. One of the guards was asleep, so she decided the change of the guard around 4 o'clock will be a good way of keeping people on their toes. And it still goes on today. It's a wonderful tradition and it's all free. And as I pointed out before, be careful with the horses. They are working horses. They are real soldiers. They're just there for an hour each time on the horse, So when you see that, just bear that in mind. Don't go and pat them, and there's signs and everything. But now we have a ridiculous society like this guy. Look at this lunatic, right? Trying to be funny and in front, of course, of this working soldier. The worst bit about it for me is, as you can now see, there is the police officer doing nothing. Now, he then sits on the rails and then he goes back to pulling faces. There's a longer version of this video. Quite why you would allow this to happen, given the fact that this is very disrespectful. And more importantly, you just don't know what he's going to do, whether this guy's armed or not. Why didn't the police officer do something to stop it? Now, at the point of this, what I can say is I've tried to verify every single thing about this video, and it is 100% kosher. But time and time again, we're seeing this with our much loved traditions over here, where people think it's funny to mock them, But it was interesting, as you saw the other day, I was filming a roundabout in Parliament and Big Ben area, and just how many people wanted to have their picture with Churchill in the background. So when you read these stories about, we're not interested in Britain's heritage and history, many, many tourists are. There were lots of tourists from Japan. I met a lovely couple from the Caribbean, and I was explaining that if you take the back shot of Churchill, that's probably as famous as the front shot. Lovely to meet you, by the way. You were lovely. And, you look at these things and you think, yeah, this is our traditions. We should be proud of it. But back to this video. Why should this lunatic be able to do that in front of a working soldier? And as I said, what's terrible and worse still, that female police officer, according to the source, did nothing, never chastised them, never pulled them away. So with help like that, can you understand how worrying it is? Because behind the scenes, they're talking about scaling this down. And this will all thanks to idiots doing something like this. What do you think? I'd love to know, as ever, in the comments below. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.